Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. Me and my wife went to see another new movie last night in the theaters where we always go. We saw the new Omen movie called The First Omen. As they themselves said, the most terrifying movie of the year. Kind of strange when the producers of the movie say that, but was it really that horrifying? Let's talk about it. Now, the original Omen, and here it is on Laserdisc. I saw that when it came out in the theaters in 1976. My parents took me. I was born in '63, so I was 13, and I still remember it. It was one of the most horrifying, terrifying horror movies I ever saw. It still holds up to this day. It is an all-time classic with a great ending. There's a reason why I'm pointing that out. That came out in '76, and the sequel, Damien Omen 2, came out in 1978, and here is the Laserdisc of that movie. It was a decent sequel as well. Certainly wasn't as good as the original, but few movies are. Anyway, that was The Omen. So the new movie is called The First Omen. It was directed by Arkasha Stevenson. I am not familiar with that person. She also co-wrote the screenplay, and I thought she did an amazing job. Going into it, I was not sure if I was going to like this movie because the idea of a prequel to the original Omen is an interesting concept, and could they pull it off? But it's kind of an interesting idea to figure out how the baby Damien was created and winds up going to the Senator Thorne in the original Omen. So that's the idea of it. Anyway, it stars Nell Tiger Free. I don't know who she is as an actress. She plays Margaret, an American woman who is sent to Rome to work at a church orphanage. It's got lots of kids in it, and she's going to work there to hopefully build herself up to become a nun. That is the idea of it. The movie has a great opening. I was like, wow. It has Father Brennan, who actually appears in the original Omen, but of course it's a different actor now. And he is confronting another priest about this baby Shiana. And there is a fantastic death scene. As soon as that death scene happened, I'm like, wow, we are in for a ride in The First Omen. It was just great. The movie takes place in Rome circa around 1971. It looks amazing. It is shot so well. You really feel like you're in Rome circa 1971. It is definitely shot on location, but there's some great set designs. The orphanage is just amazing, almost reminiscent in a certain way, at least atmosphere-wise, reminded me of Dario Argento's Suspiria. Not that that took place in an orphanage, but it's kind of got that claustrophobic kind of creepy kind of ambiance. It works really, really well. There is great music in the new Omen movie that's reminiscent of the original Omen, because the music in the original Omen is possibly the scariest music I've ever heard in any horror movie. It really freaks you out. It's terrifying. I think it's great to see movies in the theater in general, but this one works well in the theater because you hear these voices and they kind of, you're not sure where they're coming from. Is it in the girl's head, or are they really there and they're in different shadows of the orphanage? Works really well. Margaret has a roommate. There's a scene where she says, before we go for the nun, we got to get out there, and she dresses up Nell Tiger Free, and she dresses up, and she looks stunning. She looks super hot, and they go to this club, and she's like dancing, almost like a Jacob's Ladder kind of a scene, you know, it's real trippy like. And then she passes out and blacks out, and then the mystery really deepens. You really get sucked into this movie. Becomes almost a little Rosemary's Baby-ish even. There's an incredible birth scene, another amazing scene in this movie. And it's shot so well. It's shot sideways, so you really can see the birth canal, but it's certainly not exploitative. But what comes out is kind of shocking. We're not sure what it is, but it's freaky. There's a mystery about this girl named Carlita. What's the deal with her? Is she just strange? Is she abused? Is she evil? There's a great immolation suicide scene in this movie, very reminiscent of a classic scene from the original Omen. So that was really cool. That was great. There's a great possession scene in The First Omen. And I'm toward the force of acting by again Nell Tiger Free. Really toward. I mean, she's convulsing, and it really could have become unintentionally funny, but she pulls it off. Wasn't overly scary, but it's still kind of horrific, and she does a fantastic performance. So I'm loving the movie. It's got everything you want, and it's great until the ending, in my opinion. And my wife totally agreed, by the way. The ending to me and my wife made little sense. It was completely ineffective for the story that we've been watching for 2 hours. It was weak. It was unnecessary. It was clearly designed to kind of reignite the Omen, franchise and shoot for a sequel. I just felt like they pulled the rug from out of us. They could have ended it bluntly, horrifically, realistically within the concept of the movie, and it would have merged perfectly with the classic Omen and segue into that movie. Instead, they kind of copped out, looking for a sequel, made no sense. I found it silly and dumb. And here's something I talk about a lot when I talk to friends and family about movies, and they all call it the Alan Rosenberg ending. Alan Rosenberg ending doesn't mean it has to have a sad ending or a tragic ending. It has to have a realistic ending or a surprise ending. There's a reason why the Twilight Zone, the show, still is timeless, because they always pull the rug out from you in an unexpected ending. And if you think of the greatest movies of all time, certainly the greatest horror movies of all time, Night of the Living Dead, The Mist, The Sixth Sense, the original Omen, Exorcist, what do they all have? They have amazing endings. And this movie completely copped out, in my opinion, on the ending. And you had what could have been a great movie, instead of being a classic movie, just becomes okay. So, because of the ending, I'm giving the movie 3.5 stars out of 5. 5 would be a classic. 4 would be excellent. And I'll give this one 3.5. But disappointing, and really kind of bothered me because of the ending. A real cop-out of what it could have and should have been, instead of just being greedy for a sequel. So there's my review of The First Omen. If you go see it, let me know your thoughts. I definitely would like to know. I don't do a ton of movie reviews, but I'm very passionate about movies, especially horror movies. So I've been watching them my whole life and studying them. So hopefully you'll think my opinions are interesting and valid, I hope. And there's a playlist so you can check out other ones. Anyway, as always, thanks so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great night. Let's hope it's a good week. Tomorrow should be interesting here with the, especially on the East Coast, I guess, with the, what do you call it, the eclipse. So let's check that out. And as always, I'll see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.